All information in this program is known to be accurate at the time of recording. Any commentary by the host is for discussion purposes only. Anyone labeled a person of interest by the host or family has not been charged with a crime. All suspects charged with crimes related or unrelated to a case covered are innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Opinions and views expressed by the host do not represent views of the families or sponsors of this program. Coming up on this episode of Grim Media News, a missing person who was last seen in Pontotoc, Mississippi. This is a brand new case. The family needs your help in bringing this mother home. We also want to discuss episode 17 and what's coming up with that. We have two cases, one we've covered before and one brand new one. And I'm going to tell you, we need more help on these cases. We need more information on them, and we're going to need your help with that as well. This week, we have coming up on the Weekly Remind, we'll go into who we're going to be talking with, our special guests, and our case remind of the week, and also the ad campaign, the Act Now, that we're doing, helping families try to push forward and try to get new information, and the Grim Guardian Initiative. We're going to talk about that coming up here on this episode of Grim Media News. Let's be a voice. The first case we want to run by you is a case that's brand new, that's just come to us today, and we're going to need your help to locate this woman and get her home to her family. It's going to be Betty Lynn here. She is missing from Pontotoc, Mississippi. She went missing just this past Wednesday, and she was last seen or walking down 255 Wide Bend Road there in Pontotoc, and has disappeared. She has not been seen or heard from since. I believe she did not have a phone on her, and there has been no way of communicating with her since then. There are no leads, and pretty much there is just a holding pattern for this case, and any leads that could be drummed up, anybody that knows anything, we need your help. We know that we have a lot of people in Mississippi that listen to the podcast and watch what we do on Facebook and YouTube. So I'm asking you today, if you have any information on the whereabouts of Betty Lynn. Her mother is desperately searching for her. We have a daughter also searching for answers. If you have any information on her, she's 5'6", 160 pounds. She has a butterfly tattoo around her navel. Please contact the Pontotoc County Sheriff's Office at 662-489-3111. Again, that's 662-489-3111. If you need to, you can remain anonymous. You can also contact me, Steve Stone, at thegrimtruth.com. Again, that's Steve Stone at thegrimtruth.com. We are going to be following this case closely. If we need to profile it, we are going to. I did touch base again with her daughter and told her that we were here. If needed, I saw this case. This was posted on the Jessica Stacks page, and immediately, if there was anything that we can do to help, we will. So please, any information on the whereabouts of Betty, you can contact the Pontotoc County Sheriff's Office or reach out to me, Steve Stone at thegrimtruth.com. Let's get her found. So this week, episode 17, we are going to be discussing two cases very different, but then not so much different. One case is this young man's been missing since 2017, and the other case is a second episode of a man who's been missing for over 20 years, and his sister is doing everything she possibly can to find him. So let's break it down for you. The first case we're going to talk about on the podcast Friday is going to be that of Randy Cottrell. He went missing May the 14th, 2017. He was 6 foot, 180 pounds with brown hair, brown eyes, and some tattoos. Now, this case is all about the people in his circle. There's a lot of rumor and speculation as to who may have done something and why. There's rumor that there might have been a girlfriend involved or his ex-wife. We don't know. And we are continuously looking for these answers. And we are going to get into this in the podcast. Now, I have to say that in all of these stories, in all these cases rather, there are people that lie in the shadows and know what happened or know something. And it's time for those people to come out, stand up, be heard, and be a voice. At the end of the day, we can look at all these cases and say all missing persons cases are similar, and maybe that's the case. More often than not, there are people that might know things. The best way to profile the case is get a complete view of what is going on with this person, who they were talking to, what was going on in their life. What doesn't matter is necessarily what their behavior might have been, or were they having substance abuse issues, mental illness issues. Those things don't matter. Could they be a reason why somebody went missing? Sure, absolutely. In Randy's case, I believe there's somebody within his circle that knows more about what may happen to him, and we're going to definitely dive into that on Friday. Our next case is going to be one that we've covered before. I've covered it on the podcast, the Weekly Remind, and we're just getting hip deep into this one. This is the case of Joseph Little Joe Bain from Marshall, Texas, missing since January 25th of 2001. He was 6 foot tall, 130 pounds, brown hair, hazel eyes. He does have tattoos, and they're listed there in the flyer there. The thing about this case is simple. Again, there are people in this inner circle whom we've talked about many times before who know where little Joe might have gone or what happened. Now, we've talked about Coley, his best friend. We've talked about Coley's girlfriend. They were in the house. They were supposedly going to bed, air quotes, and he gets a phone call. This man smokes. He had a wallet, but doesn't leave with any of this stuff. Just leaves with a handgun, says he'll be back. I never bought this for a second. I think that whatever happened while he was in that home. And Coley, who was Joe's hunting buddy, best friend, has kept his mouth shut, has clammed up, and won't say a word. Now, we're going to dive deeper into this because I have names of people that we are going to release on Friday that may have more to say about this case than they've let on in the past. In some instances, it's time you got to shake the tree in these cases, and that is totally what's happening here in Little Joe's case. We have to shake the trees here. We've got to startle the people that may have had something to do with this man's disappearance. He did not disappear on his own, take a walk to smell the roses, or go into some kind of seclusion. That is not the case here. His sister has been searching for over 20 years to find out what's happened to little Joe, and we need your help to do that. And we're going to be naming names. We're going to be discussing people that may either know what's going on or have involvement in what happened to little Joe's case. And again, we're going to need your help, so pay attention. That's what's coming up on episode 17 of the Weekly Remind, of the Grim Truth podcast this Friday. It's going to be a good podcast, and we urge everybody not only listen but share with other people. Again, these are small towns in Mississippi and in Texas. Marshall, Texas is a very small town. Everybody knows everybody. I've talked to several people down there, and they're talking about this case. One of the girls that we'll be talking about on Friday, she listened to the episode of my podcast, so they know. And we're going to call them out, because if no one's going to talk, then it's time to put pressure on them so they do talk. These families need answers, and they needed these answers like yesterday. So we're behind that 100%, and we're going to make sure we get it done. This week on the Weekly Remind, we're going to be talking about the travesty that is the Will Polk and April Jones case. I did a video on Saturday, right after our live stream, on Friday after our live stream, where a photograph was leaked to one of Will's family members. A photograph that no family member would like to see. So there's a lot of problems going on here. And in this case, it's not just the fact that these young people went missing and they're now deceased. It's the fact that the people behind it, investigating it, they're not only not helping the case, they're hurting it. Somebody involved in this case, investigating this case, sent this picture off, and it ended up going to one of Will Polk's family members. On top of all of this, there are people within this case that have not been charged yet. So if we're going to talk about this again on Friday, the weekly remind will be on Friday. But if you look at everything going on in this case, you had K2, who's the number one suspect in the case, the trigger man behind the deaths of these two people. He was able to escape, but everybody knew that this man was behind it. They knew before they charged him. They knew, but they let him run free. But mistake number one. Mistake number two, the way this case was handled from day one when these two people went missing. The family was told, they're not missing. They're just running from their problems. BS. When a group of people conspired to have these people basically kidnapped, murdered, and then covered it up, there was a conspiracy. And there are individuals out right now that have yet to be charged in this case. They haven't been charged. Deals were made, whether they were backroom deals or promises made by the authorities to some of these families that their loved ones weren't going to jail behind this massacre. It's just disgusting. So we're going to be talking about that. My special guest interview is going to be Scarlett Campbell. She is the relative of Will Polk. The final thing in this case, and I would be remiss to point this out, is April Jones has not been recovered. And supposedly these POIs, or persons of interest, that have not been charged, supposedly have given them information on where to find April. And she's yet to be found. This is disgusting. This is horrendous. And we need action now. We need NBI to come in here and do an internal investigation as to why these photos were leaked to a family member, why this case has been screwed from day one, and what is going to happen. I'm telling you, people's heads need to roll in this case, and we will get into it on the Weekly Remind coming up this week. Also on that episode of the Weekly Remind, we're going to do our case remind of Eric Alvarado from Atlanta, Texas, who went missing on November the 20th, 2018. Now, we covered this case on the podcast a couple of months ago, and we interviewed Eric's wife. I have been in contact with Eric's father, and we had we were going to do an interview for a second podcast on Eric's appearance because I think it's important. I talked to the wife because I felt that it was important to strike while the iron was hot. I've worked several cases, including Christopher Sanders' case, where, the significant others didn't want to talk right away. And I felt that if I didn't talk to Eric's wife at the time, then I might have missed an opportunity. And because she was there before he left, I felt it was important. I really would still want to talk to Eric's father and the rest of the family. And unfortunately, we're not able to do that right now. We had it set up to where we would possibly talk, but Eric's father has postponed that indefinitely, and I hope that we're able to reconnect again. In the meantime, I still want to do whatever I can to help find out what happened to Eric. I mean, at this point, foul play has got to be the number one thing thought about here. When he took off to go to the store, air quotes, he took his dogs with him. The dogs were found deceased near the car around that area in Ogden, Arkansas, by the way, across the border there. And then Eric's keys to the vehicle were attached to a fence. They were just hung up there like someone was trying to say hello. So Eric's case is important. All these cases are important, but I want to shed a light on him. We're going to do a case remind on Eric. And again, we're still looking for anybody that's willing to talk, give out information on this case. You can contact me, Steve Stone, at thegrimtruth.com, or you can contact the Atlanta, Texas Police Department, 903-796-7973. It's very important that we do whatever we can for all of our cases to get them found and to get the answers for the families that they need. Last week, we started a campaign that, one, we wanted to start working on the cases that we had covered, and we wanted to do a personal video message to everyone involved, whether it was on their Facebook page or a video message to the families that they can share on their personal pages. And it has worked. We did one with Ira Briscoe, and we found out that EquuSearch, who is one of the best 501(c) nonprofit search organizations in the country, they're top-notch, they're well-trained, they're hard chargers, and they do a lot of good for a lot of families. And we learned that they were interested in helping the Briscoe family look for Ira and Lyman Little, who gets lost in all of this. Lyman Little is also missing. And but EquuSearch had not been contacted back by law enforcement. And in order for them to operate successfully and do the best job they possibly can do, is they need the cooperation of law enforcement. And they hadn't been getting that. They had made several calls with no calls back. It looks, because of our efforts in putting pressure on them and talking, I actually talked to the detective and with the family, it looks like there's a good possibility that this could happen, and this is something we will follow up on this week. But the efforts have shown that, you know, things are, this is working. We also did a video on the Christopher Sanders case, and unfortunately that didn't prove to get leads, but what it did prove was that Monahans PD wasn't doing anything in Chris's case. As a matter of fact, it's stalled, it's stagnant. They don't have any leads to follow. Now, we totally blew the door wide open on what Monahans is not doing. And with having talked with the captain there, Captain Quintana of Monahans PD, we heard him in an interview say point blank, we're not doing anything till tip comes in. Well, that's unfortunate. And so we want to continue this campaign of act now and get these videos out to cases and try to stir things up. So we're going to be doing videos on Little Joe's case, on Jacob Paddock Weeks' case, Jessica Stacks. I even know we haven't covered her case. I want to cover her case. And I think that in some aspects regarding her case, that maybe people feel that there's no hope or they've given up. And I want that to change. So we are going to, those are just a few of the video, what I call ad campaigns that we're going to do for those missing persons cases on their Facebook pages, and see if we can stir up more information or get people talking again, because that's what is needed. And we're going to continue to do this probably throughout the rest of the month, and we'll let you know whose cases we're going to be doing on. But right now it's Jacob Paddock Weeks, Jessica Nicole Stacks, Matthew Vitromel, and a few others. So we'll probably send you a list or give you a list of cases we've done, and we'll talk about that later on in an upcoming video. But it's also important to do what we can to generate leads and get more people involved in their cases. Speaking of getting more people involved, Friday we rolled out the Grim Guardians Initiative. The Grim Guardians Initiative is we're looking for volunteers, like-minded, passionate about the missing, that are willing to donate their time to help Grim Media, the Grim Truth Podcast, intake missing persons cases, and that are also willing to share and build groups and network with people so that we don't just become a voice, we become a loud voice, an unstoppable voice. So what we're doing starting today, if anybody is interested in joining or becoming a Grim Guardian, we will like you to email me at stevestone@thegrimtruth.com with 2 M's. Email me your interest, and then what we're going to do is we are going to contact you each individually and try to get the ball rolling. Again, we're looking for volunteers to join our ranks, not only become the biggest voice in the room, but help with the families that need help the most. A lot of families don't know what to do, and we're looking basically for advocates that can help these families out, intake their cases, send the information to us so we can get working on it. They can also help with research and other things, but just helping the families understand that there are people out there that are willing to help them and get the truth they need that bring their loved ones home. So again, if you're interested in becoming a Grim Guardian, please email me, stevestone@thegrimtruth.com. Again, that's stevestone@thegrimtruth.com. 2 M's. There is a video we did, a promo that we will run all week now on YouTube and on Facebook of our Grim Guardian initiative, and we hope that all of you will be willing to step up and give us a hand. Again, we all know that everybody has families. Trust me, I know more than most that family does need to come first. But if you have an hour, 2 hours, 5 hours of your time, and you're willing to spend that with us, helping us, bringing cases to our attention, and also bringing the cases we've covered to others' attention, to your friends, to your groups, then give me an email, give us a shout out, and we'll let you know what's going to come next. Finally, on Friday we had a Q&A on YouTube. We live streamed. It was only supposed to be an hour, went almost 2 hours. And this is something that was huge. Now, it was kind of like a live version of the Weekly Remind, but albeit a guinea pig version, because we wanted to try a different software, different streaming software that could show how we could do things and move around. And it was a great success. We had a lot of interaction with followers and people interested in cases. And if you haven't done so, check that out on the Grim Truth Podcast YouTube channel. And if you haven't done so, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode of the Weekly Remind or Grim Eating News, where we come on every Monday and we discuss the cases we're going to cover for the week. It's important to us to grow not only the channel, but our Facebook group. We just hit 3,000 followers on the Grim Truth Podcast Facebook page. And I can't tell you what that means to me. More and more people are joining the fight, the battle to help find the missing and bring a voice to the voiceless in search of the truth. And we want to continue that growth. And it's very, very important that we have your help in doing so. So how you can do that? Join Grim Guardians. Email me. But also subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit that notification bell, leaving comments, liking our videos, because all that stuff gets us pushed out there in the YouTube verse and gets us the coverage we need so more and more people can join the group, more and more people can join our ranks and help us spread the word on the missing and the things that need to be changed regarding the missing. So again, that video is out there on the YouTube channel. Just go to live streams. You can watch the entirety of the live stream that took place. And our next one will be in 2 weeks. I look forward to doing that. I loved doing it. I thought it was great. And again, we will be doing that in 2 weeks from last week. So we're looking at probably July the 30th. We will do another YouTube live stream where anything regarding the missing is on the table to discuss, and we look forward to seeing everyone there. Again, it was I had a great time. There was a lot of interaction, and we're gonna keep doing that. The other thing too is the Weekly Remind will be moving from Wednesdays to Fridays permanently, just to give me more time to do research as cases continue to flood in, and it's an unfortunate thing, but it's also an honor to continue to have gained people's trust and help promoting these cases. So again, thank you so much for that. that's going to do it for this week's episode of Grim Media News. Again, check out the podcast. We've got Randy Cottrell and Little Joe, Joseph Bain, on Friday on the Grim Truth podcast. And then Friday on the Weekly Remind, we're going to have the update on Will Polk, April Jones, the things they haven't done. I've listed this on my Facebook page. Need to have an internal investigation as to what's going on in Quitman County. I think that department needs some outside looking inward, and the NBI or somebody in the state law enforcement needs to go down there and check it out, because things are not copacetic. The other thing is, we demand that the individuals responsible for any involvement in Will Polk and April Jones case, they need to be arrested and charged today. And then finally, an investigation also into why this picture got out and sent to a family member. But on top of that, where is April Jones? Where are her remains, and are you looking for them? So all that you can find on the Facebook page. I put that up there today. This is going to wrap this edition up of Grim Media News. Remember, subscribe to the Facebook channel, hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode of this and the Weekly Remind, and help continue our stride to be the media for the missing and a voice for the voiceless. As always, I'm Steve Stone. God bless.